The next step, of course, is selecting a typeface or multiple typefaces to use within your layout. The best place to do that, of course, is through Typekit. Now, before we return to the Typekit website, it's important that your Creative Cloud application is running. Moreover, you want to come over to the Fonts section. This is important because we're going to be able to sync the fonts that we select within Typekit to all of our Creative Cloud applications. So let's come back to the web and come over to Typekit. It's important that you're logged in, by the way, using your Adobe ID. And for this particular website, I know that we're going to be using a sans serif font, so we can go ahead and choose that under the classification section. Then we want to see the fonts available for web use and desktop use. And the reason for that is we'll be able to use the font within Photoshop and be able to use the font as a web font within the web browser. So once you find one that you like, and you'll probably spend quite a bit of time looking at all these different options, I know I want one that's fairly straightforward. Maybe a lighter version and a heavier version of the same font, or maybe selecting a couple different fonts. Looking at this, I'm going to go with Source Sans Pro. I'll go ahead and click Use Fonts. When I do that, you'll notice I can select the different versions of that typeface within the font that I want to be selected with my Creative Cloud. Now you'll notice there's a desktop version and a web version. When you're working with the web version, you can create something called the Type Kit, or you can select snippets of code. That's not our concern right now. We'll worry about that when we actually build the website with HTML and CSS. Our concern right now is just the desktop version. So what you can do is choose all of the different variations of the typeface within the font, and then you can choose Sync Selected Fonts. It'll take a moment, and to verify that that did in fact happen, it'll ask you to launch the Creative Cloud application. You can click it or just come back to it, and then you can click Start Syncing. It'll take a little bit. You'll notice I have some other fonts that I selected for other projects that are being synced. Now that these fonts are synced, if you come back to Photoshop, you can select the Type tool. With the Type tool, you can just type in Source Sans Pro within this text field, and you'll notice I have Source Code Pro, which is very similar, but that's not what I selected. Eventually, it will show up. You can also use the menu and just search through the fonts. So that's available now inside of Photoshop. Let's just return back to Typekit, and let's select one more typeface. This time, we'll go with either a decorative version or a serif version. It's really up to you. There's no real rules here. I'm going to go ahead and select another one. I'll go with this font right here. I'll go ahead and click Use Fonts. I'll sync the selected fonts. They'll become synced. Again, we can come back into Photoshop and we can verify that that font is in fact available, and there it is. So now that we have our typefaces selected, what we can do in the next video is begin to build character and paragraph styles that will streamline the process when styling type within the mockup.